For the next 24 hours, we're chasing Florida's most prized fish, Mahi, Tuna, and Wahoo. The timer starts now, and we're not coming home until we land one. I'm Dylan, and without further ado, let's get right into this video. We have just made it out of the inlet. We're in about 160 feet of water. We're marking some nice marks here, but we gotta get the spread in the water. Okay, we're getting our first planer ready now. We got a purple and white seaweed, pink squid, and we got our Bonita shrimp. Really easy to rig it up. We got this single hook, and all I'm gonna do is poke a hole in the top. You wanna come here, Hunter? We're gonna poke a hole in the top just like that. This doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it swims well, you're good. So once I get it in there, I'm gonna lock the top up, and then I'm just gonna put the hook right through there, where the hook, and that's how you rig up a Bonita shrimp, just like that. Squid skirt goes right over it, and seaweed goes on just like that. And that's our first bait. We're gonna put it out there. Like I said, a lot of seaweed. This is not great for seaweed, but we already made the run out here, so we're gonna give it a shot. Maybe we could get a lucky tuna or a wahoo or a king. So we're gonna put it in the water and get trolling. So we put that lure about 100 feet behind the boat, and then we got our bridle here, and that's for this planer. And these planers take your bait deep. You need to use them down here in South Florida when you're trolling if you want to get kings or wahoo, or sometimes even blackfin tuna. So all we're gonna do is attach it onto this bridle, which is really easy to do. And if you guys are just getting into trolling, I recommend going to a local tackle shop, getting it set up all rigged up. But once you get it down, it's really basic. All we're gonna do is put the clip there, and then the other side. And I'm gonna show you guys how this looks when you're trolling it. So when we're trolling it, it looks like this. Just like that, you know, the bait's going about 40 feet below the surface. And then once a fish hits, it trips and takes off the tension, and we just fight the fish from here. So we're gonna drop it in the water now and get trolling. So the other side is in now. We got that number 6. We're gonna start trolling. Obviously, lots of seaweed, but we're gonna give this a shot. So on this side now, we got this Clark spoon, and this thing usually catches us a lot of fish. It's great for tuna, kingfish. We've even caught some wahoo on this lure. So we're gonna put it behind the spread, and then we're gonna put on a shorter planer, number 4. And we're gonna start trolling both of these planers. Try for 45 minutes, see if we can get on a tuna or a king or just anything that's willing to bite today. And yeah, we're gonna get it in the water and start trolling. Okay, this is the number 4 planer. It's the same exact thing as the other, just a lot smaller. And I'm gonna do the same thing, clip it onto here. And we got the cargo ship right behind it, so I want to get this in the water like right now. We tossed the planer in the water and decided to run just 2 lines today because the seaweed was so bad. Once both planers were set, it was time to start trolling. Planers are in the water now. You can see we're going right by this giant cargo ship, and we're looking for marks. We have not marked anything yet, but we're gonna see if we can pick off a blackfin tuna here. We're in about 150 feet of water, dragging right near this cargo ship, and hopefully we can get lucky here. We just went by the first cargo ship. We had no luck, and we're gonna go by each one. There's about 4 in the port today. We're right off Fort Lauderdale. We're gonna try hitting all these cargo ships. If we have no luck, then we're gonna make a 20-mile run offshore and hunt for some mahi. So we're gonna give this another 20-30 minutes, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, we put in about 30 minutes of trolling. Awesome's planer just popped. It ended up just being seaweed on the lure, so we don't want to waste any more time here. We're gonna make the run offshore, hopefully get on some dolphin, maybe even some tuna, some packs of birds, and we'll see you guys 20 miles offshore. We were now about 15 minutes into searching, and we found our first giant pile of seaweed. Okay guys, so we're about 3-4 miles offshore now. First pile of seaweed, and this is all we're gonna be doing all day, just hitting a bunch of different types of seaweed with this little bucktail jig. I'm just gonna cast it out there. Work it fast and see if we can get lucky. So we fished this spot for about 5 minutes, and my dad ended up catching an Almaco jack. It was a fun fight, but definitely not what we were looking for. So we knew it was time to move on. We worked the seaweed line. We got a bunch of Almaco jacks, no dolphin. So we're gonna run another couple miles offshore and hopefully we can find something else holding some mahi. Let's do it. So we ran another couple of miles offshore and we were able to find another giant seaweed line. We're about 10 miles offshore. We found what we were looking for, good promising looking seaweed line. I'm gonna take a couple casts, see if we can find a dolphin. And if we find a dolphin, we got a lot of live bait. Oh, a bunch of bait working right there. It's a good sign. So there's some bait under this. Now we're looking for a big dolphin around here. Get up here. We're also just gonna be looking because sometimes a dolphin will run right by your boat. So just keeping an eye open. The conditions today are awesome. It's calm, flat blue. We got some chasers, but it looks like Almacos. Oh yeah, look at all the Almaco jacks. At this point now, we're about 3 hours into fishing with no fish. Luckily, we were able to find a massive seaweed patch, which led us into a nice school of fish. We're about 15 miles offshore. That last seaweed patch didn't have anything. We found a giant seaweed line, like just massive. So we're gonna throw some chunks down, probably get some pilchard in the water and see if we can get some action here. So I'm just gonna toss a chunk. Probably gonna get a lot of stuff we don't want. But only way to get to the mahi, you gotta weave through some Almaco jacks. So now we threw that one chunk in. I have it on one side of the boat. We got the Tuna on this side. 4 mustad hook, and all I'm gonna do is take one of these live pilchards, toss it out and see if there's a big dolphin swimming in the area here. We got our live pilchard here. All I'm gonna do, take the 4 mustad hook. We got him held like that, and I'm just gonna throat hook him. Get him to swim down a little. So I got him hooked up. I'm gonna drop him in here and see if we can find that dolphin. Look at this. This triple tail dragged our pilchard all the way behind the boat. It doesn't look legal, but it's a fun catch. Look, he's got the pilchard hanging out of his mouth. He's just not eating it. You see this, Austin?
You know what? I've never seen that in my life.
After waiting 5 minutes on that triple tail, we finally gave up on him. So I continued casting, and then this small school of mahi showed up. And they were really small fish, I would say 10 to 12 inches. And at first, they didn't look interested. But then we finally were able to hook into one of them.
So we're about 20 miles offshore. We found a seaweed patch. Look what we got. We got a dolphin on. So we're leaving him around. There's some smaller fish here. We're really going to be waiting for like a good bull dolphin to come by. So we're going to give this 5-10 minutes sitting with him.
So we sat here for about 15 minutes and there was just a bunch of small fish. They're fun to catch, but we were really in search of a nice bull mahi. So we knew it was time to give up on this school and move on. I grabbed my D-hooker to make sure we could safely release this mahi. And when you're dealing with these smaller mahi, you want to be really gentle because you don't want to end up killing these fish. So I D-hooked this fish and he was able to swim off nice and healthy. Now it was time to move on to the next seaweed patch, and this is where we found a giant school of mahi. We were now about 5 hours into fishing, and I'm telling you guys, we were very close to giving up because it was so hot out here. But we decided to hit this last patch on our way home, and this patch changed our whole day. So I casted out that bucktail jig and worked it really fast, and then a dolphin exploded on it. Well, we looked right behind this mahi, and there was a school of giant mahi. And down here in South Florida, it's really rare to come by these nice sized bull mahi. So we're all hooked up. It was absolute chaos. And at this point, my dad was gonna try to get this first mahi in the boat. And you guys can see these fish were fired up. We spent 5 hours this day looking for this exact school. And during the summer, you really have to weave through 20 schoolie mahi to get to that one keeper dolphin because it's just that hard this time of year. So my dad was able to flip this nice mahi in the boat, and we finally were able to get our first keeper mahi of the day. But we looked to the side of the boat and just look how fired up these mahi are. This is what you live for when you're fishing, having a giant school of mahi like this surrounding the boat. So my brother Austin casted out a live pilchard, and that's when this bull mahi decided to erupt on it. So once this bull mahi was hooked up, the boat went absolutely crazy. And that's actually why I'm narrating over this part right now, because the audio is really scuffed. So this mahi at first didn't look like he knew he was hooked. So my brother Austin tried to work him to the boat as fast as possible. And once he figured it out, he made a crazy run and put on a show. We were all panicking at this point because we have had this issue so many times where these giant mahi will put on a show and then they'll come right off the hook. So as we continued fighting this bull mahi, I had the gaff ready to go. And this fish was an 18-pound mahi. I know the camera never does it justice, but this was a really nice sized fish, and down here in South Florida, these are rare to come by. So I thought I was going to get a good gaff shot here. I tried extending, but I wasn't able to hit him. So my brother Austin worked him to the back of the boat, and this is where things got really sketchy. He almost ran into our other dolphin we had hooked up. Luckily he didn't, but then he ran into the motor, and this is where I thought we lost him. So this fish now charged into the motor, and I still have not had a good angle on this fish. But my brother Austin pulled him out, and this is where I had my best shot with the gaff. And at first, I choked on the first gaff shot, and I thought I almost lost this fish. Luckily, I was able to hit him right in the head on that second one, and we were able to land this giant bull mahi, which was so exciting. So now we had two fish in the boat. You guys see that one fish right there? And we had this bull mahi, and you guys can see we were going nuts. So I was able to get some awesome pictures with this fish when he was all lit up. And let me know in the comments down below, what is your biggest mahi, because these bigger fish are so much fun to catch. So we put him on ice, and then we continued to fish this school. My dad now decided to get in on the action, so he tossed out a live pilchard, and then the other smaller bull mahi decided to slam the pilchard, and this fish put on another show. At first, we thought we were gonna lose this fish because he had so much seaweed on him, but my dad was able to pull him out and get him right by the boat. Once we saw this fish right under the boat, I went to grab him because I don't like gaffing these smaller fish. I always want to make sure they're the right size, and not just that, you don't want to lose all the meat in this fish. So we were able to flip this fish in a boat and land this other beautiful mahi. So after measuring this fish and seeing that he was 25 inches, we put him on ice and we started making our way back home.
Okay guys, we just finished fishing. We got 4 dolphin in the cooler. We probably caught over 15 mahi today, a lot of throwbacks. But we had an awesome day out there. We're gonna make a 20-mile run back in. But we hope you guys enjoyed this fishing video, and we'll see you in the next Barjack's Family Fishing video.
See you guys then.